Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, April 12th, and it's actually a pretty gloomy day out here in Southern California. This is your boy, the host of the Morning MARZ Show, the MARZ Variety Hour. It's your boy, MARZ. And today, we are starting our podcast a little late. Now, for you guys who are watching the recording, listening to the recording right now, because best believe, we should be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all those big podcast channels by the end of this week. So if you're listening to this, you're probably listening to this on one of the big podcasting, or you're joining us here on YouTube, or you're here live. But today, we did a pre-show. We started our pre-show around 11 o'clock, and what we did was play Pokemon Champions here on the podcast, reintroducing it back into my video editing rotation. So if you guys don't know, I used to be a very fun, let me not say big in my heart, big in my mind. I used to be a Pokemon streamer back in the day. It was very fun, and then I switched over to Duel Links, and then we switched over to actual Yu-Gi-Oh! But since Pokemon Champions is dropping, we are going back to making Pokemon content. So expect a link in the description, or if you're live right now, I will pull up the channel for you. It is going to be, because I know, I forgot. Someone took my name. Someone took my name and became famous. Just kidding. But right here, MARZ Metro Nerd Gaming. I'm probably going to end up rebranding it in about a month. But updated link will be in the description. Go follow me. Go make sure that you guys go follow me, because we're going to be dropping videos very more often. You can kind of see I was trying to make some videos last year. We were talking about TCG stuff because I was getting into it about a year ago. Because like, honestly, I just make videos to make videos. Honestly, to be honest, one of my favorite things about life is just making content. I like just being goofy and funny on the camera and show you guys some of whatever I'm playing or whatever I'm goofing off with. So if you guys are live with me right now, if you guys are catching this on the rewatch, there's going to be an active link somewhere. And go follow the Metro Nerd Gaming. Probably going to change it in about 2 weeks, but go follow it real quick. But yeah, on that note, starting today, I am starting a 90-day sprint of content here on the podcast. And if you guys don't know what that means for the next 90 days, pretty much for the next 12 shows, I'm going to be meticulously trying to make sure that I'm live on an act at the same time every week, that I am uploading the same time every week. And over this time, I'm going to be editing these videos a little more detailed, and videos will be coming out a little more frequently. I'm trying to build up a rhythm, build up a repertoire, build up a skill set to make sure that these videos are a decent quality consistently, and that the podcast is coming out every week consistently. And if there is a week, that I'm going to be out, because I got kids, I like to go out to music events. Sometimes there's going to be a Sunday that I'm just not going to be able to produce a episode. There needs to be some backup episodes, and there needs to be a way for me to make backup content so you guys are never without content. So 90 days starting today. Let's see, what's 90 days from today? I will update you guys. Let's see, we'll do an update every other week. We'll do an update every other week, and I will give you guys a final verdict on July 19th. No, not July 19th, July 12th. We'll give you a final update July 12th or 19th, and I think it's going to be fun. 90-day work sprint. I already have the blueprints. Well, I'll even share the blueprint with you guys here on stream, man, probably during the pre-show, honestly, because I'm a content marketer, so I don't want to gatekeep stuff. I want you guys to be able to learn with me. So 2 weeks from now, on the 26th, I'll give you guys an update. Sounds good? Sounds good. Okay, so I do not have a question of the day for you guys, and we got a couple of current events. So let's get started. So Netflix reveals Still Ball Run release schedule following the fans' uproar. So if you guys do not know, JoJo Bizarre Adventures Part 7 Still Ball Run was released on Netflix just a few weeks ago. It was an hour-long beginning episode that covered the first section of the race. I honestly just rewatched it yesterday with my friends, and we thought we were getting JoJo Fridays every Friday again, but no. We did not know when the next set of episodes were coming. I reported a couple weeks ago. But because the outcry has been so loud, Netflix has let us know that during the fall, we will be getting the second court or the first set of episodes for Still Ball Run. And it looks like they will be released in like 13 episode chunks, which will be really nice. But they will go on like the seasonal anime run. So we'll get probably 12 episodes. We'll get a break for 12 weeks. And then we'll get another 12 weeks of episodes, which is really chill. I like JoJo Bizarre Adventure. One of my favorite animes of all time. One of my favorite mangas. It really got me back into like reading again because Still Ball Run was just such a captivating story. And JoJolians was just so fun. And you take breaks and you catch it back on. But I'm happy that Still Ball Run has finally got its weekly anime announcement. And there's a couple of legs, like leg of these races. Like I believe the next 13 episodes will be like the second leg. And then maybe next year we'll get like stage 3 and 4 since they're both pretty short. I don't want to give anyone any spoilers, but I'm really looking forward to around 3-4 where some of the other races started becoming a little bit more evolved. But we definitely need the next part before we get there. On that note, a little bit more anime news. Hiro Mashimi presents new fairy tale manga miniseries for its 20th anniversary. So on Twitter, Hiro Mashimi announced on Twitter that the fairy tale manga will receive a new manga miniseries in weekly Shonen magazines to celebrate the 20th anniversary. The manga will begin to combine the 34, 6, and 37 issue on August 20. The manga will begin and combine 36 and 37 issues on August 5th. So Shonen Magazines is also streaming a community video. So if you guys want to watch that, go check it out. But fairy tale, honestly, one of the first friendship is going to win everything type animes. I have a friend who's super into it. I'm not going to talk too much, but I like it actually. I think Natsu and the gang are really fun. I like how it's like a shared universe. There's a little bit of the characters, like the manga creator keeps taking like this framework of characters and keeps putting them in all his works. Makes it like an easy way to make characters and build relationships really fun. So I'm happy that for his 20th anniversary is getting some love for it. And honestly, a lot of anime and mangas are just doing their anniversaries and celebrations. They're not trying to drop new projects or new seasons, but just like little bits of love, a little bit of like a chapter or two. This could be a little small animated special if it really came down to it. But I'm happy that we're celebrating some of these like smaller mangas. It's really chill. It's real chill. Let's see. I'm going to put that one towards the back. Legend of Zelda officially confirms the beginning of a new era. Now, long story short, Legend of Zelda has entered its 40th anniversary. Once again, we're talking anniversary talk. And Polygon was reporting the other day that like the Nintendo director Daki Arimoto said we are in a new era of Zelda, that we're going to be taking the franchise to new and different areas. Which one, we know that we're getting a Legend of Zelda TV show. I believe it was in Netflix. I don't know if it was confirmed it's going to be live action or some type of CGI. I know they're probably actively developing another game because Tears of the Kingdom was a little while ago. And I believe they also dropped like their Dynasty Warriors style game recently. So I'm pretty sure a mainline game is in the works, especially if they're announcing a new era. But I wouldn't be too surprised if we start getting a little bit more merch for Legend of Zelda. TV show, new video game, and I wouldn't be too surprised if we start getting like new compendiums, new lore drops. Nintendo is very meticulous with their Legend of Zelda lore, and because a lot of the new games have like mixed universes and stuff, it would be cool to see a new lore book dropped. But we'll see. Legend of Zelda is like one of my favorite franchises. I love Breath of the Wild. I did play a little bit of Tears of the Kingdom at a friend's house. I need to buy it for my Switch too. I have a friend, Melvin. He loves playing that game. He's always telling me like all the cool stuff you can build in it. But man, Legend of Zelda, just can't wait for more. Man, can we do a little bit of Hope Core celebration? Project Hail Mary hits huge box office milestone that cements it as one of sci-fi's biggest hits. So, Project Hail Mary is proven to worth the risk. The new sci-fi movie which stars Ryan Gosling as a middle school teacher sent into space in a last-ditch effort to learn why the sun is being devoured by an unknown substance. Adapting the novel of the same name by the Martian Andy Weir, Project Hail Mary reviews have been superb. Now, as of Sunday morning, Project Hail Mary has hit a cumulative global box office of $500 million, 500 million, by the end of its fourth weekend. That is half of that. It seems to be domestic, and half of it seems to be global, which is a really, really good. Like I'm happy. I'm happy. Like Ryan Gosling. I was just saying to a friend the other day that Ryan Gosling is like our generation Jake Gyllenhaal. Good looking young man, good looking guy, makes good fun movies. He has a wide range, even though he doesn't look it. And I'm happy that this movie is getting the credit it's getting. I gotta definitely go check it out in theaters. Honestly, reason why we need physical media again, so I can buy it on DVD or Blu-ray. But yeah, I don't want to be a Ryan Gosling glazer around here. But yeah, I'm happy that Project Hail Mary is getting the love it's getting. Okay, because now I get to talk about my favorite thing in the world. I get to talk about my favorite thing in the world, you guys. The favorite thing in the world. Cardfight Vanguard announces new TV anime for 2007 and a new theatric anime to end Divine Z Saga. So if you guys don't know, Cardfight Vanguard is a card game anime that airs on YouTube about 4 p.m. every Friday, 3 p.m. during daylight saving time. And it shows a story of a young man named Akina as he goes through multiple clashes to save the people in his lives through this card game. One of the fine piece of fiction. I know I am biased to it. Last Friday, it aired its season finale of the Divine Z anime. And we just got announced a theatric anime movie to end the saga, and a new TV anime that is going to be D-series coming in 2027. Originally, I want to say about 2-3 years ago, Bushiroad let us know that we were about to get about 9 seasons of Vanguard. So I'm happy, 9 seasons of D-series in particular. So I'm happy that I'm pretty sure due to like the global fan base growing, like these things are becoming harder and harder to find, that they're seeing that, hey, we're going to continue D-series. We're going to let these cards still be valid. Not time to reboot. I'm pretty sure we're going to get another 5 years of D-series. But man, I am so happy that we're getting a movie to cap off this series. This twist at the end was killer. Me and my friends were all like lukewarm on this season. I was kind of getting hyped when Akina was doing his thing at the end. But the twist at the last 10 minutes, chef kiss. Not going to say anymore. But yes, movie coming soon. New series coming next year. Let me guys know if you guys want me to play this on stream. I'll dump some money if it means we can have a little bit of fun on stream. A little side game. Let me know. But yeah, I can't wait. Okay, so we got a talking point. We got a talking part. I got a little article I want to go over before we do our reviews. I got a little thing I want to do before our reviews. So, TV Line, because Pokemon Champions dropped, came out with this article called The 10 Strongest Pokemon Trainers in the Anime Ranked. And me, a Pokemon connoisseur, would like to go over this article to see how good it truly is. Let's see. Ooh, okay. Cool. So, 10 strongest Pokemon trainers in the anime rank. Number 10, Professor Kukui. Wow. Number 10, Professor Kukui. Let's see their reasoning. Professor Kukui serves a similar role in the Pokemon series Sun and Moon as he does in the video games. He's the teacher of the Pokemon school on Mamame Island in the Alolan region, where Ash spends most of the Sun and Moon series adventuring with fellow classmates Lily, Lana, and Socrates, and Kawaii. Long story short, when you play when you play Sun and Moon, there's trial captains. In the anime, they're Ash's classmates. The Alolan series is very much like a school series. It's actually really fun, very slice of life-y. They say that Kukui often showcases battle ability while supporting Ash and his friends, but he remains fiercely competitive. To commemorate the very first Alolan Pokemon League, he faces Ash in an exhibition match as the Master Royale, resulting in a neck-to-neck battle that takes multiple episodes. Despite receiving help from legendary Pokemon Taku Koko, which he doesn't even own, Kukui ultimately loses to his own student. So y'all put in number 10. Okay, I can't be mad at number 10, Professor Kukui. No debate, no debate. The Cineroar is pretty good, even though I think that's like his iconic Pokemon. But I think I'm gonna have to rewatch that Alolan championship match. But I like his Mask Royale persona. I like the little dynamic he has with Ash in that season. And when we go back in Journeys, it's so cute. Like Professor Kukui gives me like Ash's dad vibes in that show. So I'm gonna take the number 10 slot. I'm not gonna argue with it too bad. I'm not gonna argue with it too bad. But number nine, Paul. Paul is the 9th strongest Pokemon in the anime ranked. I don't know about this one. Let's see. So let's see their explanation. Paul is one of the very few important characters in the Pokemon series. Doesn't appear in the video games. He definitely feels like a stand-in for a friend that always beats you in the Pokemon growing up. Introduced in the 2nd episode of the Diamond and Pearl, Paul immediately proves himself to be an ambitious rival for Ash, not only harsh towards a fellow trainer, but also to Pokemon that do not perform well in battle. He has a tendency of being a sort of loser against trainers like Brandon the Frontier Brain. And he's never lost a battle against Ash in nearly 20 episodes of Diamond and Pearl series. Even though Ash lost many times to Paul, their battle remains some of the best episodes of the Ash Ketchum era. So gives Ash a run of his money, pretty high up there. Number 9, though, I feel like this is a little disrespectful to Paul, to be honest with you. If you guys do not know, yeah, Paul is like that harsh rival in the Diamond and Pearl series, but he does have a redemption arc towards the end, and then he has a very solid arc in Pokemon Journeys where he trains Ash for his championships battles, building a team that were composed of a lot of the Pokemon that Ash was going to be battling in his next match. So Paul, very smart, very good trainer. Number 9, I'm feeling a little disrespected. I think my man need to go a little higher. But we will see after what's next. Let's see. Number 8, Alan. Already don't like this. Alan's another original character. I'm not doing this with the explanation. This fraud, who's from the X and Y anime, had his own freaking specials every single season, showing him like defeating other Mega Trainers. And then when he eventually fights Ash, he just beats Ash, which is low-key whack. Oh my God. I used to root for this guy. I used to root for Alan. I used to be like, oh man, he's real cool. Because he definitely uses Mega Charizard X, the cooler of Charizard, the same. But man, number 8, put this man down here, number 10. This man does not deserve to be up here. First of all, he got tricked by Zylander, and he never comes back. He just gets sweeps when he gets a jerk. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't care if he's technically the strongest trainer in the world. Fraud. And got tricked by Lysander like a punk. Nah, Alan, get out of here. Number 7 is my girl, Iris. I don't need the explainer. First of all, Iris, the Dragon Gym leader from from Black and White, the champion of Black 2 and White 2, and Ash's companion during the Black and White series. She has an Axew, who I believe evolves all the way to the Haxorus by the time we see her in Journey. She is actually one of my favorite companions for Ash. She is the perfect foil for Ash because actually Iris is a competent trainer. Through the whole entire series of Black and White, you get a sense that Iris kind of knows what she's doing in all aspects. She's a dragon trainer. She's a dragon tamer. And you get this backstory that she's like very proficient in raising Pokemon. All the way to the point that like when Ash leaves Black and White, she becomes the champion. So as number 7, I think she deserves a little higher. I still don't know who else is on this list. This is a blind reaction. But number 7, I think she go a little higher. I don't know. Also, the way that she just trains like these powerhouses, Dragonite, Excadrill, Haxorus, a beast. But man, so they put Steven Stone at number 6. I do kind of want to see this explanation. So it has a reputation in the show itself. He's the champion for the whole reason. He is also in the games Ruby and Sapphire. And his team includes a Metagross, Claydol, Aggron. In the anime, the shiny Metagross that he has can Mega Evolve, which pushes them up a level. But it's crazy. I don't know. I don't think Steven has the strats in the anime to be called number 6. Like, he deserves to be probably 9, to be honest with you. Did he help us with the big boys? I feel like he didn't help us with the big boys. Was he around when we were messing with Team Aqua and Team Magma? Probably not. Honestly, a fraud. I know he helps us in the video games, but anime, I feel like he was no help or not. Nope. Get him out of here. He's not number 6. Trash. I feel like I'm coming off as a hater as I'm doing these, because what are you telling me Lance is number 5? I guess at some point someone has to just be the average strongest trainer, because what does this man do outside of like aura farming in the Orange Island League? Sure, he has a Dynamax Gyarados. Sure, he does some cool things in Gold and Silver. Like, he's the champion of the games I play. But like, in the anime? What is this man doing? What's Battle Organization like? Oh, he did. He was there for Magma and Aqua. Yeah, he was there. Yeah. No, I mean, I guess someone has to be average. Someone has to be in the middle. And I can't argue with it anymore. Let him be in the middle. Okay, we have Diantha. Now, Diantha number 4 only irritates me because I went into this blind. And not knowing truly who was on this list, Homegirl number 4, I like her. She does have my favorite Mega. By the time because I really think about it, does she appear? Yeah, she appears in X and Y. She trains the Special Greninja. In Journey, she's in the Master 8 tournament. She has the Mega Guanavar. She does face Leon. I don't know. I feel like she could have defeated Leon. I feel like number 4. Yeah, okay. I'll give her number 4. Homegirl's fire. She does have the Guanavar, which is my favorite. Team in the video game is fire, honestly. I just feel like in the video game, she could have done much more in X and Y. I feel like she should have been around helping us beat Lysander, especially because I feel like early in X and Y, it's established that her and Lysander are friends. So why doesn't she, 1, help us more fighting Team Flare, and 2, pop up and Mega and ZA? I mean, I know it's tied to ZA in a way, but she's not a really good friend, but really good trainer. I'll take that. Cynthia number 3. I feel like is an insult. Because who do you have above? Let's just do the last top 3 together. Let's do the top 3 in a row. So they say Cynthia, the champion of Diamond and Pearl. I would say in the video game, Cynthia is probably the strongest champion. I need to see a rematch between her and Leon. I need to see her and Leon just do it. Just duke it out. Because Cynthia, I think, is the strongest champion. I think Diamond and Pearl, mostly due to the way that it's structured, is a very hard game once you get to her. She has a very competent, well-rounded team. And she's fire. Leon is above her. Okay. He's beaten by Ash. He has the Charizard. He's made his way through the final 8. He confronts the Eternatus. Okay, cool. But like, he has 1 season. He could definitely be like here. Like 3 or 4, honestly. It's 1 season. Sure, he makes it through the champion or the Master 8s, but he had to. Plot armor. I don't know. Leon's a fraud. And I'm pretty sure number 1 is Ash Ketchum, the man who tried 8 times. Hold up. But who's the guy who beat Ash? Who beat Diamond, Pearl, Platinum finals? Because they don't even have my boy on there. They don't have Tobias. Tobias is the strong. Tobias came in, beat Ash Ketchum, never had to come back and defend his title. GOAT. This is the real number 1. Okay. Why did they not bring him back That kind of sucks. Defeated on just Darkrai winning the Lily of the Valley Conference. Wow. I wonder if he ended up beating Cynthia. This was the greatest butt pull ever. Came out with Darkrai, started putting everything to sleep, then came out with Latios, and just started sweeping. I wonder what is Tobias's? Hold up. So everybody knows Tobias from Pokemon, Diamond and Pearl. He's the guy who beat Ash mysteriously at the end and never came back. Oh my God. His Pokemon team came from Darkrai, and Latios. Mysterious AF guy. But if we take a look, the Diamond and Pearl Pokedex, I wonder what other Pokemon would he have had on his team? Because, let's see. He had Darkrai. He had Latios. Would he have anything else for? I don't think he would have any other legendaries from Diamond and Pearl. Let's see. What other legendary Pokemon would he probably have had? Nothing from Generation 1. Nothing that mystical. I could see him having like Raikou as like a electric type, somehow caught a Raikou. Let's see. I see. He has a Latios. I feel like if he had a Reggie, he would have to have 2 Reggie. I wouldn't. It would be cool if he had also a Latias. Yeah, Darkrai, Latias. I see him having Heatran, like a little demi legendary. If they wanted to, if they really wanted to give us like a crazy hint with Tobias, they should have gave him Kabalion. They should have gave him Kabalion. He looks like a Kabalion. They should have gave him a Kabalion. Nashville should have defeated Pikachu. But yeah, Raikou would have been cool for him to have. It wouldn't have been too out of pocket for him to have like an Articuno. But man, it was just interesting. Interesting Pokemon Trainer Day randomly put at the end of Diamond and Pearl. Okay, let's get to our reviews today. Let's get to our reviews. I'm already going I'm super over today, y'all. So let's get to our reviews. So, and let me do one thing because I hear BRB. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so the next couple of weeks, we're gonna do. I think we got like the next 4 weeks. We have a couple of Invincible reviews. I'm gonna break it up in 3 different sections. We're gonna do the openers of Invincible, episode 1, 2, and 3. Next, we'll do 4, 5, and 6, and then we'll do 7, 8, and 9. And by the time 9 comes out, I think the time that I review 7, 8, and 9, it should be the week after 9 premieres. So everybody will have time to actually like sit and like watch these shows before I actually review them. And to be honest with you, that's kind of like my policy. I try to watch things one week. Like I let it come out for a week, and then in that following week, I try to review it that Sunday. Things that come out on Sunday, I kind of try to catch it that Sunday. Like Euphoria, if it comes out today, I would be reviewing last week's episode today, so you can be ready for tonight. Which would be really weird when it comes to replay videos. But hey, that's the way the game plays. So this week we got Invincibles 1, 2, and 3. I want to say 2 weeks we'll do 4, 5, and 6. And then a week after that we'll do 7, 8, and 9. Because next week we're doing Lover Boy Sunday. I've been hyping this up for weeks. I love that show. But then after that we have The Boys. Today we're going to talk about the opener of The Boys. We have episode 1 and 2. Real solid, real good. Ooh. I believe that show is coming out weekly, so the rest of the episodes are just coming out every week, 1 by 1. So we're just gonna let that roll. So we'll watch the opener now. If something crazy happens, I'll review like that moment, but we'll probably do a full like season review once it's all over. Daredevil is airing right now, and like something big just happened in that, so I want to review that in a couple weeks. And then like Star Wars dropped in that, like the mole show dropped. So I got to start catching up on that. So there's just a lot. I'm going to start putting things in dockets and stuff. Okay, on that note, let's talk Invincible. So, as you guys know, Invincible Season 4 just came out. Not even just came out. It's been out for like over a month now. At this time of recording, episode 6 just dropped. Really good episode, real solid episode. But today we're only going to talk about episode 1, 2, and 3. Because I think these are pretty good episodes. I know that they're like, if you guys don't know like the rhythm of the Invincible seasons, the first episode of an Invincible season, so starting with Invincible Season 4, episode 1, it's always kind of like it's always a like prelude episode. The same rhythm all the time. You usually have like a Flaxon invasion that happens, and we deal with that plot point. A lot of those like beats from the comic happens. And that really does repeat again for season 4. But once again, it's not like an interlude is bad. When we take this first episode to kind of see where Mark's at mentally, he's still in the blue and black suit. He still has the murder from he still has Conquest and Eve's regeneration on his mind heavy. And he has that promise he made to Oliver about killing just straight up in his mind. We're going through that first episode. He runs into Dinosaurus. And so cool that we finally got the introduction to this character. This character is going to be real fun in a couple of seasons. But we do get an introduction to this character in his weird little transformation. But Mark, it was about to kill Dinosaurus. Like, no lie. And I think that's like when he gets done interacting with Dinosaurus, he starts to try to check himself a little bit. He's like, yo, like I almost went too far. What's going on? Like I shouldn't be doing that. And it's really good to see that our hero is trying to be a little cautious. Like Mark Grayson is trying so hard not to end up like his dad. And if there is a theme in his first 3 episodes, is this idea that Mark is trying very hard to not be the version of his dad that went through and destroyed Chicago. The last time we see his dad, he was out there like, shebanging bugs and had Oliver. So he doesn't really know like the arc that Nolan's been through. So he's just very hard on himself. We see him have a conversation with Art, and I think that was really like the heavy one with him. Art's telling him like, man, look, I know you're very hard on yourself right now. I know sometimes you gotta have to make a tough call because we did have a squid invasion in this episode, and Mark, to make sure the squids didn't spread, make sure he killed the primary host. Art's telling him in this conversation like, bro, like I know you're hard on yourself. I know you don't want to be like your dad, but let me give you a very good sign that you're not your dad. Your dad never came to me questioning if he's gone too far. He's never come to me asking if he shouldn't have taken a life. Life didn't weigh on him like that. So take that into mind, young man, when you consider like if you're turning into your dad. And it doesn't 100% get Mark. It doesn't 100% get Mark out of his funk, but I think it starts him on that track. One cool thing about episode 1 is that they're clearly setting up a lot of the stuff for the rest of the series. With the Flaxon invasion in episode 1, you see that robot and monster girl get trapped in the Flaxon dimension. And they still are as a time of recording. We get a small tease to Grand Regent Thrawn, since we do see that Conquest did get out and went back to Viltrum. And we kind of get a little bit more from Mark, some things about Dinosaurus. Episode 1 was just really good, really fun. I always love how they take one full episode to really just like get us back in beat, get us all those little small story beats. Because in episode 2, we get more of a like TV original episode. In the beginning of episode 2, we get Nolan's backstory. And it's really cool that you see how vicious Viltrum is to its youth. We catch Nolan on a day that he's considered an adult in Viltrum culture. And he's with a group of younglings. And he is trying to teach them, the way of Viltrum. And he's being very firm with these children, very strong, very strict with these children. But I don't know why, while watching the beginning of episode 2, why I kind of get this idea that Nolan was kind of more of a firm teacher, especially when you see him grab that young black girl, Viltrumite, and tests her. I mean, hey, I would have understood if he, chucked her if she got it wrong. But there's a sense of like proudness, a sense of caring when she gets the answer right. And I really like how that in season 4, episode 2, they decide to take some time to really flesh out Nolan's backstory. In this episode, you get the introduction of the Scourge virus and how it ravaged the population of Viltrum. How Nolan's parents died, how many kids died, many Viltrumites died. And it was up to the healthy Viltrumites to take care of all the dead bodies because they're the ones who develop antibodies to fight the virus. And I think, to be honest with you, when I'm watching this scene, I'm starting to feel that Nolan's conditioning starts to break at this moment. And I think that's a cool emotional retcon. Like, that as the end of season 1 and he flies off, that was like, bam, that was it. Because even though he tries to underplay how he felt, we'll talk about Anissa and Oliver, like you kind of get this idea that he was trying again. But you get this idea that watching all of these people that he grew up with, all of these teachers, all of these children, all of these soldiers that he fought with die, and this sense of loneliness kicked in, I think that's when Nolan's programming starts to wear off. That's just my interpretation. That's my interpretation. But you get to the coolest thing about this too is you figure out that on planet Viltrum, that giant ring that you see in the sea from that portrait from space, that's not just a ring of like space dust. Those are all the dead Viltrumite bodies from the Scourge virus. Because after the Scourge virus ravaged the population, there was only 50 pure-blooded Viltrumites left. And those are the ones who are spread across this galaxy now. And their mission isn't just to conquer and take over planets, but to find an alien species to mate with that would give them just as strong offsprings as pure-blooded Viltrumites. That kind of plays into Nolan's mission on Earth and his attachment to Mark, because Nolan kind of feels like, hey, yo, like once he had Mark and he saw Mark was almost 100% Viltrumite just due to his human DNA, he kind of freaks out. He's like, oh no, I don't think it's that. But it's nice. I like how episode 2 recontextualizes Nolan's backstory. It introduces the Surge virus because we do find out that the Grand Magistrate, the leader of the coalition, he has improved the Scourge virus, made it even stronger, and he's ready to use it as a bioweapon against the Viltrumites, which shocked Nolan to his core. And he made the Grand Counselor of the Federation, of the Space Federation, promise to only use it as a last resort. We also get to see Space Rider in this episode. Episode 2 pretty fire. Episode 3 rolled around, and I like how we kind of get into a little more action in this episode. We do get our obligatory Machine Head episode, him, Titan, the guy who turns into the dragon. But this time, instead of like Mark dealing with them, Oliver's the one who deals with them. Oliver is a little more just completely naive, not knowing any of the backstory with these guys. Goes in just trying to wail on the dragon. And I kind of like that we got to relive a lot with these characters again. I was always interested how like comic book adaptations do reoccurring characters. And it's never like when we get back to Titan and Machine Hand, like I'm never upset seeing them again. Machine Hand's voice and his like delivery of his jokes are just so hilarious. It cracks me. But this episode also kind of starts teasing Eve's new condition after go according to some marketing in one of the previous episodes. Eve's powers are messing, and this is the episode where she kind of starts to learn that she's pregnant. So episode 3 kind of just sets up a lot of like conflict, a lot of guidelines. I think the biggest part of episode 3 is Mark beating down on Titan and Oliver trying to get Mark to let up on him, and Mark kind of retracting his promise to like be lethal all the time. And also we finally get this blue suit off. He gets back into that yellow, blue, and black, that hopeful looking suit. And I'm happy that we're kind of done with this dark suit arc too. So the first 3 episodes of Invincible, really solid, really fire. I've seen all the way up to episode 6 too. So like, don't get me wrong. We're going to review them soon. But the opener is amazing. If you guys have not watched Invincible, it is 3.5 seasons long right now. We are kind of getting into the thick of it. We're starting to get into the shift of the story plot. So it's a really good time to catch on to Invincible. So yeah, let me know if you guys watch it. Let me know how you guys feel about it. Okay. One momento, please. Here we go. There we go. Whoop. Let me change my picture too. So the followings I need to make sure I do my spoiler warnings at all times. But we are going into The Boys season 5, episode 1, episode 2. Like I said before, we're going to probably break up these reviews by like chunks. So we'll probably do episode 3 and 4 next. When episode 4 is done, episode 5, 6, there's chunks. Unless something majorly happens. We'll talk about it then. But right now, we're going to talk about episode 1, episode 2, and how I feel about this. So, as you guys know, The Boys is the Amazon Prime original show adapting the raunchy 2000s comic of the same name. If you guys do not know, The Boys the comics and The Boys the TV show, The Boys the comics and The Boys TV shows are very different stories. Where I feel like the comic like relishes and its raunchiness for the sake of its story. The twists are there to shock people. The Boys TV show takes that raunchiness and kind of just makes it gritty and real. And I have always appreciated the narrative to doing that. There are some truly disturbing things that happen in this show. Definitely in this first episode of season 5. But it never feels like it's raunchy for raunchy's sake. Except for that one time in season 4, I believe. But I do like how the raunchiness helps ground this story. Because honestly, people are closer to being assholes than they are to being like nice people as they're climbing up the ranks of like corporations and fame and stuff. So realistic depiction. But season 4, episode 1 brings us back. At the start of episode 1, Homelander's shareholders speech is interrupted by digital terrorist attacks. The Starlighters start airing at the shareholder meeting and on the internet a footage of Flight 37, the plane at the beginning of season 1 where Homelander and Maves did not save the people. There was a video that was collected that showed that Homelander saved the selected special people and let everyone else die. Vought immediately pivots this where we see Ashley for the first time being shown as the vice president. Ashley's the last time we saw her, she was mutating at the end of season 4. But Vice President Ashley declares the footage AI generated, and they start this like disinformation campaign. We catch up with Homelander and Sister Sage, and they're officially ordering the execution of Huey, Mother's Milk, and Frenchie. And in that exchange, you kind of get this idea that like, yo, Sister Sage got Homelander kind of checked. But she's starting to notice like, he's a little more unhinged than I thought. Like, that's a nice little shift. Like, you finally get that Homelander is just too unhinged to deal with. We do catch up with our boys who are in the internment camp. You get this nice little scene of Frenchie like whistling before he gets shanked. And then Huey saving him. You immediately see like this inmate gets exploded while Huey is having a conversation about hope. Is this a little metaphor that like, yo, you got to keep your hope alive or you're going to try to kill yourself, you're trying to commit suicide? It's crazy that like you see the real direct consequence of like losing yourself in prison. While in the middle of this episode, you also see Butcher go to his dad's house, catching up with him. Like, but just, like Butcher does not like his dad. He hates his dad because his dad like talks shit about his mom, beat his mom, beat his brother. And Butcher, loaded up with this cancer-infused V, goes and kills his dad. Kind of showing that like Butcher is like off the deep end. We do know that he has been actively developing the virus, and that's one reason why he needs to figure out where Frenchie is at. We also see him collect Kimiko. Once Butcher gets Kimiko, they go find Starlight, who has had an eye on our 3 boys in the internment camp, but hasn't saved them. Butcher telling her is because she feels guilty, and she doesn't need good boy Huey stopping her from being a ruthless freedom fighter. We see Homelander descend into further paranoia, realizing Vault employees, even Firecracker, are physically reacting to him now that reacting to the sight of him now that like this footage is circulated. So more and more like feeding into his anxiety. But when we get our boys together, you gotta get that first little bit of Kimiko. Kimiko can talk now. And she sounds like a freaking Gen Z TikToker. I hated that part. Hold on a minute. We eventually see our boys. You see our boys rescue our boys. But Annie, Butcher, Kimiko go into the internment camp, go and rescue Huey, Milk, and Frenchie, and they're confronted by Homelander. At this time, also a reminder, we do also catch up with our boy A-Train, where Annie tells him he should be doing more. Coming up now. During this botched rescue attempt, while Homelander is about to murder everyone, A-Train comes in and saves Huey at the last minute, and then distracts Homelander, leading him on a chase. This chase goes for a minute, and I really thought A-Train was gonna outspeed Homelander. Homelander is just trying to zap him with his laser eyes. But A-Train trying to not hit a woman, mirroring that first episode of season 1 where he just ran into Huey's girlfriend, trips, runs into a tree, and Homelander catches him. But man, A-Train is not letting Homelander think he has a win, because A-Train sits there and starts taunting him. And I do like when A-Train taunts Homelander, telling him like, hey man, you can kill me now, you can do whatever you want. But that is not gonna solve the fact that, dude, you are broken inside. You want people to love you so bad, Homelander, but you're never gonna get it. And that's gonna make you a weaker man than me. I'm gonna die a hero. Making sure that those freedom fighters, my boys, they're gonna make it out. But you ain't got no one at the end of the day. And I love that. I love that that's the last wound on Homelander. Now, I wish that A-Train's redemption arc didn't end with him dying. But I do think that like it being that emotional blow being thrown at Homelander was the cherry on top. What about some of the things I really like about this episode? You kind of get that criticism of that alt-right energy in America. I'll talk about if it lands effectively all the time due to the real craziness of the world. But man, with the shareholders, when you get to see the Deep in His Manosphere podcast, and even seeing that Ashley, Vice Principal Ashley, is married to the Soup O father, who's a mega church pastor. All of these are just criticizing the alt-right movement out here in America, evangelicals. But man, it's interesting. Like, look at O Father. Like, when you rewatch O Father's part. It doesn't sound as deranged as you think, but we'll get back to that. I like how they talk about the freedom camps. They're branded as freedom camps, but we all really know that they're internment camps at the end of the day. And then during that final confrontation, you get this little monologue. Of Homelander when he's looking through Butcher's body in that final fight, and he sees that beat up cancer inside of him. You get a little hate boner for Butcher. Butcher can't stand the man. Butcher's ready to kill this man at a moment's notice. But Homelander has a hate boner for Butcher. He's almost happy that Butcher is pushing himself and killing himself to match Homelander. He says, "You're the only man to ever give me a run for my money." Oh man, it's such a solid twisted moment on Homelander. Anthony really does a good job emoting with him. I'm not a big fan of him TikTok talk, but watching just the first episode, that was only my major issue. And I do you just can't make mad with a hard cut. Let's talk about episode 2 in a minute. Okay. Now, episode two kind of split into two different camps. So let me talk about that B plot a little bit more. The B plot is kind of like following Homelander and the Vought crew in the aftermath of A-Train's death, because Homelander's in episode 1. So a lot of the Vought storyline for season 2 is very much just following the aftermath. You get to see that Vought blames A-Train's murder on the Starlanders. You get old father out here talking about how Starlight and her crew are there's no metaphors on this stage. Starlight and her people, they're possessed by demons. They're eating babies. I was cracking up at that part because you've heard evangelical preachers say literally stuff like that in the last 10 years. It was almost like we were not satirizing real life at that point. That is real life at this point. But you also see Homelander taking it the worst. A-Train's last words really got into Homelander. Really showed him Homelander ain't got nothing to live for. And this causes Homelander to break open the pod Soldier Boy that he's been holding on to. He breaks open it, wakes up Soldier Boy, and kind of tells him hey man, Soldier Boy, I want you to be my number 2 in the 7. He's trying to bond with this pseudo dad that he has. And Soldier Boy, not about it, calling him all types of names, is eventually convinced after he sees that Homelander really does control the president, the media. He's really throwing his weight around. So Soldier Boy, he goes along with Homelander, and he basically says yo, I'm gonna take the Deep off this mission of tracking down A-Train and the boys. I'm gonna put you on it because I know you don't like Huey, and you ain't a big fan of Butcher either. So I'm gonna send you after them. I need you to report back to ASAP. Report back to me ASAP, Soldier Boy. And when you report back, you go be the number 2 in the 7. With that, we were following the A plot, which is our boys finally getting a working part of this virus and needing someone to try it on. They decide that they're going to try it on a rock suit because this rock suit is very okay. I do not remember the name of the rock. There's this giant suit who's made of lava and magma, and it's crazy because the toxic thing of this one The toxic thing is this episode is that. Oh my God. What's the name? I'm trying so hard to remember the name of that suit. Rock Hard. Rock Hard. So Rock Hard is this magma-based superhero, and you learn that he is like trapped at the bottom of this house. He's kind of the leader of Teen Kids, this teenage superhero team, but they're gonna try the virus out on him because he's very durable. And they're like, hey, they can kill him, they can kill Homelander. They get to like Teen kicks his head out, and they find old boy just trapped in the basement, just covered in like magma. They eventually find out it's his because he magma all the time, and he's just stacked it on him. It's just stacked up on him because he's just nasty like that. And he's like, he is paralyzed. He uses his eyes to talk with a computer, and he's a real gooner. It's crazy. But in attempts to get this virus inside Rockhard, who, due to his magma-based powers, can hold his breath at a really long time, they end up going inside the house, and they end up meeting Countess Crow. They kind of connect with her. Countess Crow is this goth-themed member of Teenage Kicks. She's a late teen superhero. She has the ability to control crows. But in this investigation, you learned out like they subjugated her to doing like vampire glam makeup tutorials on the internet instead of being a crime fighter. Her teammates are out here eating her crows. And Mother Milk is trying to sympathize with her, trying to get her to join their side. Towards the end of the episode, she really don't know where she's gonna stand on it. But you do learn that she's suffering from very bad depression due to like the condition that they're treating her in Teenage Kid. But after locking her up, Soldier Boy, Jetstreak, Jetstreak and She-Line being two Teenage Kick members that we've seen like little clips of in the least 2 episodes. After a crazy chase scene with these guys, we eventually get all 4 of these guys in this air-sealed chamber and release the virus on them. And the virus just starts rapidly replicating, killing all 4 of these suits. And we do learn that it is not deadly to humans whatsoever. With this known, they, like Huey and the rest of the boys, do not know what they're going to do, letting Butcher have this virus, causing a whole nother set of problems. But that is where they leave us on this episode. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not a big fan of episode 2. Episode 2 felt like too quick getting back to basics. I felt like season 4 really left us on this crazy cliffhanger of Butcher having this cancer power B in him. And now episode 2, just episode 2, we're back to basics. This episode could have truly been us grappling with Butcher shooting himself with V. It could have been everybody just being like, Butcher, we can't mess with you, bro. We can't. Or them trying to like start this division. But no, by the end of this episode, we are back to basics. And I do not know how long we're going to be back at basics. But that's episode 1, episode 2. Let's see how the boys stick this landing. A lot of these shows do not stick their final landing. Let's see if the boys can prove us wrong. But there we go, guys. That is our podcast for the day. If you guys don't know, we together went over current events, went over Invincible episode 1, 2, and 3, The Boys episode 1 and 2. Next week, we are going to do a triple threat. The whole review is going to be about JJK Zero, the opener of Sendai, and the Sendai Colony episode, the Calling Game. We're going to do a Utah-based episode next. And I cannot wait. It's going to be amazing. Thank you guys for watching the show with us today, our pre-show playing Pokemon Champions. We should be playing Pokemon Champions again sometime this week. So make sure that you are following us here on twitch.com/MarzCFlowers and turn on those notifications so you can join us on stream. And if not, I will see you guys next Sunday for the podcast. We are starting this 90-day challenge, so we will be uploading this podcast on all the major streaming networks and on YouTube tomorrow, Monday. I appreciate you guys. I really do. And I will see you guys next week.